All right, as you can see, we were the transit party, and we took the Omaha Metro Transit Authority data, and we tried to solve the problem of how do you visualize what's going on with the transit system? How do you see, how would you take data from where the buses are going, where people are trying to go, and how to improve the transportation infrastructure of Omaha? Here you can see is a map of the bus routes in Omaha currently. They are color-coded. Each bus has its own color, and it looks great. You can see almost the outline of the city included here. And here is the tool that we built. It's got the same view of Omaha, and the hexagons represent the number of minutes from place to place. If you can click on the demo. There we go. And here is the live demo version that I will let Nate explain some of the key components and how he started to build it.
Sure. Thanks, Kathy. So I know at least half this audience is technical, so real quick I'll go into the background, but I don't want to go too deep. So what we did is we took OpenStreetMaps data, which is kind of like the Wikipedia for maps if you're not familiar with it. It covers almost the entire world. It's a little slow with new areas, but it's good coverage. And we superimposed that. We also took the Google Transit feed that we got from the nice folks at Omaha Metro. Got to plug that. And what we did is we kind of built like a big graph, and we said, okay, that gave us information enough to calculate how long it takes to get from any one point in the city to any other using either walking or by taking the bus. And it's smart enough to say, I know when the buses run, so I can plan around. So what we did is we ran this model for 8 a.m. on December 2nd, 2013, so it's a Monday at 8 a.m. And so if you click at any one point in the map, it'll tell you how long it would take to get to any other point in the map in minutes. And so, I don't know, Rebecca just I suppose.
And from that click, you can also see the color code over to the left. The red hexagons are about 10 minutes. And then when you move into the teal-ish color hexagons, that's an hour, approximately. And the darker purple, that is 2 hours. So this at first looks not so bad, but once you start really calculating in your mind, the minutes add up quickly, how long it would take you to get to each region of the city. And this link is live. This is a tool that anybody in the room can navigate to and can check out. You can check where you live and the places you like to go. I really kind of see how you could get around in the bus system.
And this is at transitparty.opennebraska.io. So if you guys can pull out your smartphones and screw around when we're talking, it won't hurt our feelings any.
Yeah.
So go ahead and pull it out.
And we hosted it on a server that was graciously donated by HP Cloud for this event. So. Okay, next. Go back to the slides. And like some of the things Nate mentioned are on the next slide. We got the data, and this is on an open source tool, and it's something that people can look at the code, can look at how we built it, can really grow this tool from here.
Yeah, sure. The tool we use is called OpenTripPlanner, and basically what it is it's a tool for doing multimodal analysis, which basically is a really strange word for saying, what if I want to take a trip using more than one mode of transport to get there? So in our case, walking and using the bus. Nothing too scary. If you're curious about any specific route and how we calculated that distance, come find me afterwards and I can show you the exact route that we took. So that's something I'm interested in.
And we use the colors for people to easily visualize the transport times and maybe start to question where are the underserved areas. Go to the next. And for example, some questions that might come up and some future leads for this tool, and you can combine it with demographic information such as this map, which shows population density, the next map, which shows change in population, with the teal areas being high growth since 2000. This is 2000 to 2010 data. And the yellow areas being a negative growth. And then the next map also shows some of the areas in town that have high densities of workplaces. So this might be where people need to go every day consistently in hopefully shorter commute times. And then this is an example route that we mapped. And this kind of illustrates what's going on behind the scenes with the hexagons, correct?
Yeah, sure. So here you can see in a particular case, looks like we're starting out from somebody's house here. We're walking south, down past Milando here, north 168th. Hop on this bus, and forgive me, I don't know which bus route that is off the top of my head. We head east, we get off the bus, and somebody told me that the word for getting off a bus is actually debus. I don't know if that's a real thing or if they're just messing with me, but I don't know if you debus right here and get on another bus. Yeah, that's just an example of one possible route that might be in this map.
But sadly for this route, this is 2 hours and 8 minutes. And this is at, what was it, 8 a.m. on a Monday morning.
Yep.
So it knows that you'll be waiting there for 17 minutes or whatever.
That's right, yeah. So if I leave my house and it takes me 15 minutes to get here, and so I get here at 8:15, but maybe the bus doesn't leave here until 8:35, I'm going to be standing there waiting. Hopefully it's not cold outside.
And this is illustrated more precisely in this screen, where it's the same picture, but it shows the detailed trajectory on the left. And then go back to the slides. This is another example. If you really pare down into the details of some places that were consistently very long commute times, for example, is Epley Airfield, which people would love to be able to navigate to on a bus. North Omaha and West Omaha are other good examples. We could really see some corridors where the buses are serving it precisely well. It's great to get around in Omaha. And then one thing from Hack Omaha is really giving ideas and talking about handing off this tool, where it can go in the future. Like we mentioned, combining it with other demographic details, you can do a lot with integrating the data. For example, some things that would be great to learn would be ridership, or even if you had this app up and running, the city could monitor who is searching for which routes and where the most high interest areas are. You could also, from that, identify key destinations that people want to go to. Yeah.
So I got to give a shout out to Caitlin Hova. She was our designer. She's not here tonight. She went to go play violin at the Holland Center, but she did a spectacular job. So.
And that was my fault. I didn't introduce the team either. Okay. We just started. We had Caitlin Hova, who is not here. We had Matt Hova, who is running the audiovisual for us right now. We have Nate Benesh, and myself, Kathy Anderson, and Marcus, which is back there. Yep. And at this time, we would love questions from the audience and the judges.
So how is the data shared or is publicized? What format? How can you access the data? What format is it in?
So currently the only data that's being made available by the nice folks at the Metro Transit Group is, I'm sorry, I'm ignorant. Is it the Metro Transit Authority? Is that the appropriate?
It's a transit authority for the city of Omaha.
Transit Authority of the City of Omaha, so I was close.
Yep.
They actually have Google Transit feed specification, which is like a standard format. And that's how you get like bus routes onto Google Maps. Is the city actually publishes that and Google goes out and picks it up like every night at some time or something. So that's the information we use.
Talk about the NRD data you tried.
Yeah, so we thought it'd be really interesting to superimpose bike trails from the NRD. And the problem we ran into is that the shapefiles we got were not real great. So what we do in this particular case, we represent roads as networks. Now, if there's breaks in the networks, obviously I won't be able to get from point A to point B if the line doesn't go through. So what they do is they have real things like, so if you go under a bridge, the route stops for 20 feet and then it picks up again. But the way we built this model, people can't walk through grass. They can only walk where there's roads or where there's sidewalks. So we weren't able to add NRD data at the time, or something like that. Is that okay?
How painful would it be to accept real-time data into your heat map?
Actually, it would be, clarify, what do you mean by real data, like bus locations?
Correct. So let's say I have a bus number 2 that's running 5 minutes late.
That would be really easy, actually.
Okay.
We'd love to have that kind of information.
Okay.
Will you say that again? We'd what to have that
We'd
information?
love to have that information. That would be amazing.
Okay.
I'd do a dance, like right here. Please don't give that to me right now. I don't want to dance.
We also talked about possibilities of this kind of data is like if it, for an event as such as the College World Series, if there were changes or if people are really interested, where can I navigate the city better? The city could integrate that kind of information.
Another thing we're really interested in is ridership data. So when are buses most utilized? What's the average time a person spends in the bus? Do a lot of people ride the bus around for a long time? Or do people, get on for a stop and get back off again? And I don't know if that's something that's captured right now or not, but we thought that'd be an interesting metric.
Absolutely.
It is, okay. Yeah.
So you're talking about a lot of things you could find.
Uh-huh.
What's some of the things you did find that surprised you?
Do you want to take this one?
I guess when we're looking at the specific areas of Omaha, there would be gaps that would show up as very high transportation times, and we kind of wondered why is that, that particular area. I think it was just indicative of, where the bus routes are going and how far with walking times.
We did realize there was some really populated areas, like you pointed out, kind of an industrial belt there, just south of the interstate.
Yeah, south of
and that's
80.
really served by public transit right now. It's really difficult to get to from anywhere in town. You're looking at an hour and a half to 2 hours to even 3 hours if you're unfortunate enough to live out west in Omaha. So
That'll teach you.
that'll teach you. That's right.
That is, and that'll teach you, it could influence, people look at their commute times, where they want to live in Omaha. And so when city planners are making wide views of how you're going to encourage development in one area or whatever, transportation is definitely implicated in that. This guy knows.
Yeah.
But it could be used even in economic development data, right?
Yeah,
If you were to
yeah.
say like, boy, we know that people are generally walking distances here, you could identify the business corridors that could be developed if you were looking at investment dollar opportunities on infrastructure and or TIF financing at key intersections in our city coming up in the near future, crossroads.
Is there something to say?
And you can be the widget too.
Okay.
Any other questions about this one?
So on your data, was it for what was the time span on that? Was it a year's worth or 2 years?
So this data was actually the most recent Google Transit feed that the nice folks at the Omaha Metro, I'm not going to get that name right. I was like,
Metro's good.
Metro, yeah, the nice folks at Metro gave us. So we actually ran it for date in the future to make sure our data was going to be current.
Okay.
And on OpenStreetMaps, I pulled down the data on Tuesday, so that's pretty current.
I think it'd be cool to have some historical data there so that you can plan out something like, the World Series is coming. What did it look like last year? So you can kind of make some sense of, for me, I don't like driving in the snow.
Yeah.
So it'd be awesome if I could see what it's like winter coming up so I can make some plans and arrangements to take
We actually have a tool available right now, and it's how we calculated the routes, so we didn't show it off today. And you can say, well, I think it'd be fun to go on a bus adventure. No, not really. But so I know winter's coming up, like you said, it's going to be cold and snowy. And so next January, when I come back from holiday break, how can I take the bus to work?
Yeah.
We have that tool, so you can run it in advance for 8 a.m. on January 2nd. So that's available, actually.
Cool.
Hit me up after.
That do it?
That's it, right?